Hello YouTube, this is Vdeogamer, and this is the How to Draw Video Game Characters tutorial. For this specific tutorial, I will be showing you guys how to draw Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic series. Sonic was created, of course, by Sega, and he's pretty easy to draw, not much to him. It's just a couple of parts that are sort of difficult, but I'm going to show you how to draw all of Sonic and even create a very good background. So, without further ado, let the drawing begin. For this tutorial, you are going to need a pencil with an eraser, sketchbook paper or copy paper, and colored pencils if you wish to color your drawing. So, let's get started. Now for Sonic, I don't actually need a source drawing because I've drawn him so often in my entire life, but Sonic might be good if you have a source drawing, if you're not too familiar with this character. So, of course, I always like to start out my characters with the eyes. Sonic's eyes are a little bit different than most video game characters. Now I'm going to start out with the rest of his body, or his head. Now draw the nose and the rest of the mouth and face. Now it's time to add a little bit more detail to the face and eyes and stuff. To draw Sonic's eyes, you've got to position them to whether he's looking forward, looking straight ahead towards this way, or looking to behind him. So I'm going to have him looking straight forward. And then if you want him to be angry, or mad or sad, it just depends on how you draw the face. Finish up the details on the head. Now, part of the spikes on his head, you want to darken them. Some of them, like the lower half of the last spike, don't fully darken that yet. And I'll show you why in a bit. So now you're going to draw Sonic's body. To draw Sonic's body, I usually like to start out with the oval that goes in the center of his chest. And then I like to bring it around to where the spikes on his back are. And that's why I told you not to go so dark on the last spike. Draw his arms. Now for Sonic's joints, don't actually make them like hard right angle joints or anything like that. You have to sort of curve them into it. I've noticed a lot that that doesn't look good with Sonic characters because that's not how they ever draw them. So just curve in the joints like this. To draw Sonic's hand, you gotta start out with the little puffy part for the glove. And I'm going to sort of put a ring around it just so I can keep track of it. And then I'm going to draw his hand. And then you gotta finish up the details on the right hand. And then you're going to do the other hand the same way, except then you're going to do the rest of Sonic's body. I like to come off the back spike and draw his tail. Now at this point you're going to decide if you want the legs to be running or not running. It's very different for each of them. But for this, it's a lot simpler. I'm just going to have him not running. And again, same thing you did for the gloves. You can do it for the legs. And then comes the shoe. It's not too hard of a part to draw for the outline, but it can be a little bit trickier because they've been changing the shoe a lot. You don't want to make them too long, you want to more round them off than anything. now it's time to finish up all the details on your body. The buckle on Sonic's shoes always goes on the inside of his feet. So once you've gotten all of that finished, now you're ready to add on a background if you wish. So I'm just going to make a very cool background. It's going to be a canyon, because in Sonic Heroes it started out in a canyon where Sonic was just racing around, and that was a pretty cool scene. First time I ever saw it, so I'm going to draw a canyon. Putting the sun here, so it's definite where my shading is going to be. We're going to put the lower canyon wall right here, and the secondary canyon wall is where I'm going to put all the detail. Then I'm going to add some clouds up here. And now comes probably the only part that will be difficult, is coloring. So of course I like to color my main character first. Here's my darkest color. So once I've got those, I'm going to do my base coat first on all of Sonic's blue fur. And there are the edges of his body. If you want to make him look like it's actually fur, you should probably sort of poof it out of the lines just slightly. Now comes my shading. I'm gonna go over with my base coat color again, just to finish it up so it doesn't look so weird in between the shading. And once you've gotten all the blue on Sonic done, you can choose out a couple of skin colors that you think would match Sonic's arms and his face. And now, a special characteristic I found of Sonic is that on their type of skin, they like to darken the darker shadows with brown, sort of like this. There's not too much of it, except in the Sonic Chronicles, and that's just really weird. But if you just add in a little bit, it gives him this finished look. Just real briefly, I'm going to color in Sonic's eyes, because those are pretty simple. Now remember, Sonic's eyes are always green, and I don't think they've changed ever. I'm going to finish up his shoes and his gloves. Pick out your reds, and then your yellow for the buckle. And then I'm going to choose out a gray for the gloves, just to add it a little tint and depth. And I'm going to have a black for the rings that go around his gloves. And once you have Sonic colored, it's time to do your background. I'm not going to spend a lot of too much time on the background, just simply getting all the colors done and not too much shading to do the background. First I'm going to start out with the sun. Here is my finished drawing of Sonic the Hedgehog. The most difficult part was the coloring, and it actually took me more than one day to finish this drawing because I had to go away while I was in the middle of it. So I had to come back another day and finish it, but it still looked very good overall. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. You should comment, rate, favorite, and probably even throw in a request, because for the next video I just might pick your request. One thing you probably should do though is subscribe, because that way you'll be able to be notified when my next video comes out, and it might just even be your request. So thanks for watching, and see ya!